after game number 5. How important is it for the Knicks to win game 5 and not have to worry about coming back here for game 6?
Well, I mean, it's critical, but the pressure goes back on Boston, who has not won a home game yet in this series. You don't know what the situation is going to be with Jason Tatum, but there's tons of pressure now on the defending champs. So for the Knicks, it's not that you play softer or you feel like you have it in the bag, but you know that they're the ones that are under pressure. You remember what that was like when they came in for game 3, and you make sure you match it.
Yeah, you got to be ready for game. You play every game. Every game starts at 0. You go through your routine. You try to win and knock this team out immediately. You don't think about the next one. You have it at home, which is huge, but you obviously go try to get game 5.
All right, guys. Monica McNutt now joins us. She, as always, was on the radio call on ESPN New York. Monica, what do you think? How about that second half? Knicks outscored the Celtics by 19 points.
Very impressive. I will tell you this, Tyler, obviously, you know, we love sharing a little bit of our booth experience with the fans. Tyler looks at me and goes, I'm just so calm. Like, it was a comfortable win. I was like, this is an unusual feeling, isn't it, friend? So I think, of course, our hearts go out to Jason Tatum, and we hope that is not anything serious because everybody wants to be at their best in terms of getting the opportunity to move forward. But I kept looking at the box score, y'all. 1 turnover in the fourth quarter. And I think as much as we talk about Jalen Brunson, who is clutch, he had 8 points in the fourth quarter. He had 18 points in the third quarter. And Karl Anthony Towns was huge. We also should be having conversations about clutch rebound performance, clutch defensive performance, clutch, just clutch attention, right? In terms of this team being able to support him and his scoring, and Mikal Bridges, who had a big fourth quarter, but everybody else doing other things. And I immediately thought about what Tibbs said about rebounding runs after game 2, when you look at that team being able to go on an 11-0 run to take the lead into the fourth.
Monica, that's something I was going to talk about when it comes to the box score. Before the game, I said this is a game where all hands are on deck. Every name in the box score has to have done something, accomplished something in this game. And when you look at the box score, it does feel like every player from OG Anunoby, Josh Hart had every column filled with something, and Towns with his double-double again. Brunson, obviously, his brilliance, and then Bridges early in the fourth quarter. You got help off the bench. Their bench didn't do any damage whatsoever against your team. This very much felt like every single player brought something to this game, didn't it?
I agree with you. And it reminded me, and I keep going back to game 3 versus the Pistons. Everybody was a star in their role. It didn't seem like anybody was pressing. Everyone understood the tasks in front of them. I thought this team did a great job of competing on the defensive end, whether it was the mostly switches that we saw, even when there were moments where there were mismatches in terms of size. I mean, I was really baffled at the half, though, by the disparity in the free throw opportunities, but I thought they did a great job of staying focused because we've seen this team at points allow the lack of whistles going in their favor to become a distraction, and they did not do that tonight.
Monica, I love when you said how the Knicks only had 1 turnover in the fourth quarter. When it is clutch time and crunch time, Tom Thibodeau has these guys so organized compared to the way the Boston Celtics run their offense. What were you seeing just down the stretch as far as all the guys just being in the right place at the right time?
Wally, I think it goes back to my key in coming into the ball game. I thought they were decisive. In the clutch in particular, it is so clear the ball's going to go to Jalen Brunson, and he's going to make the necessary decision. But even leading up to that, I thought they had a much better rhythm about themselves in terms of execution, in terms of getting to the old boards. Like, they just played with more confidence. And we talked about it as we closed out on the radio. I'm not going to say every time this team loses, they bounce back. But we have seen this team, particularly down the last stretch, the last 2 months or so of the regular season into the postseason. They seem to relish at the opportunity to get it right. And tonight they got it right in fine fashion.
All right, Monica, as always, we appreciate it. Have a safe trip to Boston, and we will talk to you on Wednesday night.
Sounds good.
I mean, the Knicks are 1 win away from going to the conference finals.
It's amazing. And again, it was the resiliency that Josh Hart talked about, right? That first quarter, they go 12-0 to finish the first quarter, and you're like, oh, they can't miss.
Yeah.
Like, all the things were going on, and they just kept staying with it and kept battling.
All right, Tom Thibodeau, as always, his post-game comments presented by Chase.
Questions? Tom, obviously, they did hit some tough shots, but it felt like you guys were pretty connected for most of the part, defensively, offensively, good in the second half. What did you think of this group's performance in totality?
Well, I thought, they hit us early, and obviously, we got in a hole, but I love the way we fought back, showed a lot of toughness and more discipline in the second half, and then timely plays, everyone working together on both ends of the floor. So I think it starts with your defense. And then you have to have a lot of toughness, and then you have to do it together. And I thought the guys did that.
What you see with Mikal in that fourth quarter? It looked like he was a little bit more assertive in trying to get his mid-range off.
Yeah, just, reading the game extremely well, getting to his spots. He had some big-time rebounds in traffic, some tough plays. I thought he was terrific in the fourth quarter. Thought OG gave us a huge game. And I thought Jalen, of course, it was timely shot after timely shot. But I thought Mitch gave us big minutes. Cat gave us really good minutes. Deuce got us at a faster pace, so I thought that was good for us as well.
I used to say you don't want to do this, but you're down 14 in the third quarter. Just kind of what it says about this team to keep coming back.
You just got to keep fighting, and that's sort of the nature of the game. And there's, when you're playing a three-point shooting team like that, there's going to be variances in the game where there's runs and you can't go away. You got to keep fighting. And they have the ability to, make tough shots. I thought, Tatum had a monster game going. He's a great shot maker. And I thought a lot of the shots were challenged well. He has the ability to make. And we have to have the determination to come back to do it over and over again and stick together.
Tom, what about the building and the electricity in the air when you guys were responding?
Yeah, and we always say, we got the best fans in the world, and the arena's great, the atmosphere, but we got to make sure we give them stuff to cheer for. So I think it's important to understand what goes into winning, and you have to earn your wins in this league. They're not given to you. And so the building is not going to win the game. Whatever the series, each game, you got to go in and put the work into winning that particular game. That's the only thing that matters.
Tom, you mentioned OG and what he gave you. It looked like he grabbed at his hamstring late in the first quarter, went to the locker room, came back. Just what did you see from him after he came back and the shots that he hit in the second?
Yeah, just, toughness, timely plays, flying all over the place. That was a huge steal that he made for us. But he's so disruptive. It's not only, and look, when you're guarding a guy like Tatum, there's a lot of stuff that he has to navigate through. And there's times you defend him well and he's still going to make, but to do it over and over and not get deterred and to keep fighting and then to make those plays that he made in the fourth quarter says a lot about.
And there was a lot of talk earlier in the series about Mitch and the free throws, but they didn't foul him tonight, but he gave you a bunch of offensive rebounds again. Just what kind of lift did he give you?
Same thing. I think he and Cat played really well together. Josh was in foul trouble, so the two bigs and his defense, the offensive rebounding, that's huge for us.
Tom, you guys have kind of flipped the switch with the defensive rebounding the last game and a half. How important has it been to keep them off the offensive?
Well, it's huge because you got to finish your defense against them. You can get the initial part right, and then you can challenge the shot, and then they're very quick to the ball, and their guards pursue. Their bigs are relentless. You got to make sure you're getting bodies on them, and when you're switching, sometimes you got smalls on bigs, but you have to have the toughness to get the job done. Just get up in there and battle.
Tom, speaking of Mitch, he affects the board so much, even on plays where he doesn't get rebounds. What do you feel like he gives you guys, even on the plays when he's not getting boards? How is he actually impacting?
Well, it's the pressure he's putting on the rim, and then the threat of the offensive rebound and the extra possessions and what that means to the team and the value that it brings to the team. And then I thought he and Jalen connected on the lob, so I think that having that pressure there is huge for our team, and there's not really a stat for that, but what it does is it creates advantages for us.
Tom, Mikal kind of struggled in the first half, but what did you see from him in that fourth quarter? And
just his demeanor, and that's what I love about him. He played hard the whole game. I thought he had some good looks. They didn't go in, but that didn't sway him at all. And then he got going, he big time in the fourth quarter. Those were huge shots he hit.
Tom, second half of the fourth quarter, you had Mitchell Robinson and Miles McBride out there. What led you to go with those two, and what did you see from the group during that?
Well, the starters went on a run, so we ran with that longer. And then Josh got in foul trouble, so that's what really led to that. And then Cat needed a rest, and so we were just reading the game.
All right, a couple
Tom, you always say Jalen gives you your best when his best is needed. Just that third quarter, he comes out 16 points in the period. Just what did you see from him in that period to go on that run that he had?
Yeah, just reading the game. You know, he knew that we needed to be aggressive, and I thought that helped set the tone for what we were trying to do.
Coach, on that challenge where Josh got his fifth, what did your guys see for you to challenge it? And clearly the referee said it was a trip. So what did your guys see that caused you to want to challenge that?
I agree with our challenge guy. I disagree with the judgment on it, but sometimes that's the way it goes. You deal with it. But when you look at body position and you look at the things that occurred on it, yeah, I thought it was a good challenge.
Tom, 39 points for Brunson in a game like this, that's huge. Like, what makes him made for moments like this in the playoffs?
Just the way he's wired, a lot of poise under pressure. His confidence, I think, is always super high just because of the way he prepares and the way he works. So no moment is too big for him. You're not going to speed him up. He's not relying on athleticism, although he's more athletic than people realize. And then just his fundamentals, his footwork to be able to get to the spots that he wants. He's great at creating separation, and he's always got great balance on his shot.
Tom, I don't think anyone knows the word on it yet, but Tatum was out in a wheelchair in tears. Just kind of thoughts on, I guess, if they have to go without him, what that means.
Yeah, I never want to see a player get hurt. And, he's been a great player, and he's a great guy, too. So I hope it's not a serious injury.
In Boston on Wednesday night, Game 5. We have a pregame for you at 6:30, and after the game, an hour-long postgame show. Let's now listen in to Boston head coach Joe Mazzulla.
No, not yet. I know it's a lower body injury. He's going to get an MRI tomorrow. He's with the doctors now.
Did they go do any tests on site?
I didn't ask him. I just got the update from him. I just asked him how he was doing. So I'll get the MRI tomorrow, and we'll see what it is.
I'm concerned with that, you guys, right
now. Yeah, I mean, obviously, you're always concerned about someone's health. So it's twofold. We're concerned about his health, where he's at, and then we're concerned about what we have to do better for Game 5 when we get back to Boston.
Duke. Joe, was it the Achilles or was it the ankle itself? And was it contact? Because there was some contact.
I have no idea. I got back there, talked to the medical staff. They told me it's a lower body injury, and they're going to get an MRI tomorrow. So, we'll see where it goes from there.
Pierre.
Bro, I mean, to see him, he's the guy. He's hurt, he gets up. When he doesn't get up, he's staying down. I mean, how does that make you feel? How did that impact the team that he couldn't get up on his own?
Yeah, obviously you're always worried about someone's health. So the fact that he had to be carried off, like you said, he's the type of guy that when he gets right up. So he didn't, and we'll know tomorrow exactly what it is. But yeah, I mean, it's tough to watch a guy like him get carried off like that.
You were up and Jack. Did you have a chance to talk to him at all?
No, I didn't. No.
And how was his reaction in the locker room? What is the
Yeah, I mean, tonight, we just didn't play well defensively, and we're in a hole, and we got to get back to Boston, and we got to figure out a way to win. So, Knicks played great tonight. We had stretches of playing well, and they got the best of us, especially in that third quarter. With their pace, their offensive execution, and I thought their pressure took us out of a lot of our actions and took away our rhythm. And we have to fix that for next game.
We've talked about Brunson. We've hit on Bridges. We've mentioned Karl-Anthony Towns. Worth pointing out, OG Anunoby 20 tonight had only 7 points combined in the last 2 games, and he goes for 20 tonight to help the Knicks win. Over now to the Wally Wall with Allen and Wally, guys.
Thank you, Bill. And it's just really amazing that's the second half, a 70-point second half for the Knicks. The offense finally got on track. And so how did it happen? Well, let's first start with how it happened with Jalen Brunson and how he got to his spots and he went into that Jalen Brunson mode where he had to back up his words and he took over in that third quarter.
And the masterful play calling, too. You take Jalen Brunson off the ball. You have OG Anunoby handling the ball. Freeze it there. Now here comes Jalen Brunson in the corner, coming off the screen. Look at Josh Hart. Look at the screen he sets on Derek White, and Anunoby playing point guard gets the ball over to Brunson. This takes the pressure off Brunson a little bit from having to fight to run offense. It really wears you down when you got to deal with all those guys hanging all over you. Now look at this, freeze it there. Look, Hart does a good job of not committing a moving screen, but slides up here a little bit. Anunoby's got the angle to get it over. No ball pressure here by Jason Tatum. And then Brunson, he's always reading the defense. Don't rush this shot, pump fake, one dribble, get the wide open three. Derek White out of the picture. Just outstanding offense. And that is a play we haven't seen much all season long. We haven't seen it in this series. Tom Thibodeau called it at the perfect time, and boy, did it lead to a wide open look when Jalen Brunson was already the Brunson burner and cooking.
Yeah, again, that's teamwork right there. That's how it all gets together. And, Josh Hart doesn't get anything in the box score for that, but that's a screen assist and a really good one there. Now, you have to get Jalen Brunson some rest after an 18-point third quarter. So early in the fourth quarter, Tom Thibodeau has been making Mikal Bridges sort of the focal point. Yep. And boy, does that get him going offensively. And in that fourth quarter, he had 10 points and some big buckets.
He was automatic when he got to his mid-range, and he was taking advantage of a mismatch with a height advantage. Brunson here, good job, freeze it there. He's got a switch with KP on him, so everyone is looking to help. Everyone is like, wait a second, we got a 7-4 guy out on an island guarding Mr. Clutch. We got to be ready and in help position. So what does Jalen do? He reads that, kicks it quick to the corner. Now you got to close out with a guy trying to take away the three-point shot. Bridges, really good in the mid-range, beat him. Already right there, beat his high foot. Once you get that angle into the lane, someone else is going to have to come help. There's breakdown and rebounding position here. This is just a whole mess. It's a scramble mess. Bridges with that fadeaway. He's so good in the mid-range, and I love what Bridges does. He takes those automatic twos. He shoots those at 70, 80%. Meanwhile, Boston's jacking up those threes. Those threes that they're shooting, they're not as high percentage of a shot as that. And the Knicks were just methodical at taking good shots every single time down the floor. That shot them into rhythm, and that's why they played a flawless second half.
Yeah, it was a great second half. And again, all hands were on deck. Everybody contributed. Mitchell Robinson off the bench with 8 rebounds, 5 on the offensive glass. He's in the locker room right now.
Mitch, I know you're going to enjoy this one tonight, but what's your mindset going into Game 5 and trying to close this thing out?
Just reset and, try to get it.
Mitch, first couple of games, there's a lot of talk about the free throws and whatever. Did you feel like you were able to affect the game like you can tonight with the offensive rebound?
Of course. That's like one of my strengths. That's what I go for, and I get a couple of them. How many I had tonight? 4, 5?
I think at least 5.
Yeah.
What's your reaction to Jason Tatum's injury? It looked pretty serious.
I hope he's all right, man. I've been dealing with injuries almost my whole career, so it's I really hope he's all right. It's you don't want to see a guy go through stuff like that. It's I'm gonna pray for him, make sure he's straight,
Game all season. What worked so well for you guys tonight?
Just getting stops when on transition, playing hard, just doing what we do.
How much did you guys feed off the Garden crowd tonight?
Oh, definitely. It was amazing. It was electric. They were super loud, and we definitely,
It looked like your hamstring might have been bothering you in the second quarter. Are you okay?
I think I'm fine. Was it bothering you? It just felt weird a little bit. I'm fine now.
Excuse me, OG, what about the team's overall performance in that second half?
Yeah, they just asked that. It was great. We played hard. We got stops. We ran out in transition and scored.
Coach, they got up 14. It felt like they made a lot of tough shots throughout the course of the game. Did you feel like, in terms of long stretches, that was maybe the best combination of offense and defense you guys have maybe played in this postseason and feeling it on both sides?
Yeah, for sure. We've watched the film, but definitely, if that's what it felt like. We're forcing them in tough shots, and then we were playing really efficiently, moving the ball on offense.
Was there a point, maybe a specific play or run, I guess, where you could really feel it turning?
I don't know. To watch the film, but I guess in the third quarter, I don't remember the exact score, but yeah, we went on a little run. They called timeout. I don't know how many times, but yeah, we went on a run in the third quarter.
OG, Tom says you have to earn victories in the playoffs. What'd you like about the way you earned this victory tonight?
We didn't lay down. It was tough. They were up a little bit. Things were going their way. Stuff wasn't going our way, but we just kept fighting.
How about the performance by Mikal tonight on both ends of the floor?
Oh yeah, he was amazing tonight. Doing it all on both sides. Making plays happen and then hitting shots.
OG, you've been on Tatum a lot in this series. Just what do you think when he goes down there at the end of the game?
Oh, I didn't see what happened. I hope he's okay. I'm not sure what happened. I really hope he's okay.
What's the feeling heading into Boston for Game 5?
I'm going to watch the film and always want to win the game. So close the series out.
Guys, you look at how the Knicks have been constructed. OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, in many ways, want them to go up against the Celtics wings. Yeah. And Alan, to this point, you can make the case that Bridges and Anunoby have at least been equal to or maybe better than Tatum and Brown.
In the fourth quarter, especially, when it mattered, when in time. They both have made huge plays. And OG knocked down 4 threes in this game. That's the biggest part for me, is that when he spaces the floor and you can kick it out to him, he catch and shoot. He's got a really good touch. He got a little lost in Game 3 where they couldn't find him. They weren't getting him the ball. He never got into rhythm, didn't get much offense going. But in this game, when you guys working that hard going up against a superstar like Tatum, you want every now and then make sure he's touching the basketball and feeling good. And that he definitely made the Knicks happy that he was getting the ball. 4 of 8 from downtown.
He made some big ones in the second half. Those step backs, he drilled them, nothing but net, shot the ball with confidence. And I think when you watch that Knicks offense and that ball moves, that helps everyone get involved. Yep. And when everyone touches the ball, initiates some offense, gets to pass to their teammates, then when they get the opportunity to get that shot, you're so much more in rhythm. And I love, one of Monica's keys at the beginning of the game when we were talking was get the Knicks back into their rhythm. We saw what the Knicks can do offensively when they get into a good offensive flow and rhythm. That's what NBA basketball and basketball is all about. That second half was flawless.
Karl-Anthony Towns, we've mentioned his numbers, 23 and 11. We haven't mentioned the fact from 2. Here's Cat now after the game.
Using the word execution, the team needed to execute better. How did you like how the team executed tonight?
I mean, I thought we did a great job. They came out defending champions with a bunch of energy, and they executed at a high level. Start the game, I thought we did a great job of just staying strong, staying disciplined, continue to believe in each other, and found ourselves executing, what we had to do to find a way to win. Their team is special. They're defending champions. It takes a whole team to beat them.
What is, as a fellow very tall person, what is it like watching?
Am I tall?
No, I know you're tall.
Oh, okay. Shout out to my tall people.
You guys, Mitchell Robinson is also very tall.
Mm-hmm.
What's it like watching a dude like that just take over the offensive boards like he's?
I mean, he's special, man. I mean, you when you're playing against him, you understand what he brings to a team, and when you're playing as his teammate, you can see even more the magnitude, the impact he has in the game. And he was just special tonight, and doing everything we needed him to do, whether it was guard their big men, or also getting big rebounds, alley-oops, timely buckets. He was able to do it all. So shout out to him, man. Maybe he deserves those pickup trucks.
In such a tough game with such an amazing response from the Knicks, can you describe, in such a tough game?
No, I got you.
With such an amazing response from the Knicks, can you describe the emotions, the feelings you had on the court playing in this building?
I mean, just these fans have been special all year, and they, when you got the fans we have, when you have a city that's supporting you the way our city does, anything's possible. And it's because of them that, we enjoy, and we have such a joy in our hearts coming to work every day. So shout out to our fans, shout out to the city, really supporting us throughout these the ebbs and flows of the season.
Carl, the Tibbs talked before the series about the type of pride it's going to take defensively to compete with a team like this, and your defense on an island against Tatum and Brown throughout this whole series was really good. Just how would you interpret the way that you played against them, and kind of the team as a group rising to the challenge?
I ain't gonna lie, man. Tatum was hitting some shots at the end, bro. Man, that's all I could do. But shout out to him too. I'm praying for him. If you saw me on the court, I just wanted to pray for him. You look bad, so prayers with him and his family. You never want to see anybody in the NBA get hurt like that, and hope it's something minor and not something major. So that's first off. But just like I said, this team needs to do whatever it takes to win, and you can't speak it without not doing the action. I want to be able to walk the walk and also talk the talk. So shout out to my teammates trusting me in these situations, and I'm happy that I was able to at least, like you said, make it tough on them.
Pounds incredibly efficient. One thing we haven't talked about, the Knicks, we talked in the pregame, Knicks had to get off to a great start. They're down 16-6.
Yeah.
But then they came back to go up in front 17-16. I thought that may have been a key sequence in the game because in these preceding games, they haven't been able to bounce back so quickly, and they've been kind of dead in the water after those rough starts.
It's the resiliency that they were talking about having to have in this game because of what Boston can do with those threes. And in fact, they ended that quarter on 4 straight threes after they had taken that 1-point lead, 28-27, and then they hit 4 straight threes. And all of a sudden, you're like, how are we down? Like, it's just unbelievable how they can shoot those threes. But once that went away, that's when the game changed in favor of the Knicks, so they stuck with it.
An example of what we're talking about here, Derek White had 4 threes in the first quarter and only 2 threes the rest of the game. Here's White now at the podium.
I mean, obviously that's our brother, and you hate to see him go down, and like we just know the type of guy he is, and yeah, it's tough to see him go down, but obviously right now it's pretty low because of the game, and we just got to find a way to win Game 5.
The third quarter, got to go 14, and all of a sudden they start going on their run where they can't miss. It's the third game that's happened. Why has the defense been unable to get those timely stops?
I think we just got to be better. I mean, obviously some are tough shots, and but you just got to find a way to get a stop, especially in those moments. And I mean, they were just better than us today.
Derek, Joe kept mentioning it's great that your defense and the offense for guys, obviously if they run a lot of double big lineup, so it gets tough sometimes. What else have you got sort of on more success?
Yeah, you just got to find a way.
Now after the game.
It's tough. There's not really a lot to say. We didn't say much. Felt like we just, it wasn't a lot to say. Obviously JT, everybody's concerned with him. But tonight, defensively, our defense let us down. Just no resistance.
Jalen, obviously, basketball, like you got to go back to Boston for me. Focus on that game.
Yeah, we take the night and get back up tomorrow. Tomorrow's a new day. And we go from there.
Back now from the Corner 3 presented by Michelob Ultra Superior Light Beer. Waller, you're the former player. You've been in these locker rooms. You've seen these things happen up close. The Celtics seem like a defeated bunch, and understandably so.
Listen, there was a heartbreaking loss first and foremost, but there still is emotions, and there still are human beings in that locker room. And when one of your teammates, one of your brothers goes down like that, it shakes you. It takes a lot, to kind of come back and do your job, which the Celtics are going to do. They're going to figure out a way to do it. They're professionals. I wish nothing but the best for Jason Tatum. He's a superstar in this league. The NBA is not the same without him on the floor. So I'm praying that this is not a major injury that's going to keep him out long term.
He was having an incredible game.
I know.
The shot making for him, he had 7 threes. His playoff career, how you said, was 8, right? So he was on pace for a career night at 42 points. He just looked effortless with his offense. And as Karl Anthony Towns was just saying a moment ago, how difficult it was to guard him. It's like he was just making incredible shots. So, those are the kind of moments that can obviously change a series and change the playoffs. And it is something that is certainly going to be a big story tomorrow in Boston and around the NBA.
Well, what's it like when you're on a team and the other team's star is out in terms of how it might impact the Knicks' approach going into Game 5?
Well, I love what Karl Anthony Towns said. That's just a classy opponent. It really is. And that's the epitome of sportsmanship. And in the end, win or lose, you want to shake your opponent's hand and you want to display good sportsmanship. So I think that was awesome what he did. The Knicks cannot worry about that. They have a focus and a job to do. And this is why they have one of the best coaches, I think, in the NBA, because he will get his team prepared to the max, prepared to the fullest to go out there and do what they have to do, and that is finish this series immediately, get that fourth win in order to move on to the Eastern Conference Finals.
All right, guys. Jalen Brunson started in the third quarter with 18. Mikal Bridges had 10 in the fourth quarter. Each now, let's listen into them at the podium.
I just want to make that and say that first and foremost. Thoughts and prayers with him, and just praying for the best.
Obviously, another crazy game, crazy runs, whatnot. Just how do you process the comeback, the win, and what it means for the series right now?
It means a lot. It was a big game for us. Just the way that we responded. It's what I'm most proud of. Sticking together and just making sure we're not quitting. And that's a tough team over there. And obviously we want to get out to better starts. And but they got experience. They're defending champs for a reason. So a lot of credit to what they do. I'm just happy with how we fought.
Hi, over here, Jalen. Mikal, wondering your vantage point on the play where you get the deflection, OG gets the run out dunk, Tatum goes down. What did you see in that moment? What were you thinking when you saw that he was down? What was your perspective on it?
I thought he rolled his ankle. And then obviously we want to go out there and compete. But when a player of his caliber goes down and he's rolling in pain like that, you knew something's wrong. So that's why I just gave my thoughts and prayers, because you never want to see something like that ever.
Either one of you, it felt like a lot of the shots they made early on were tough shots, and you guys made them work. Did you guys feel like that in the moment, that what you guys were doing defensively was working, aside from maybe a few minor missteps here and there, but in total you guys were doing what you were supposed to do in this game?
Early on, I don't think so. I think early on, a lot of miscommunication, transition. Derek White getting a lot of looks. They just made a lot of tough shots, and we can live with that. But early, having to.
What's your favorite team? Comment below, and if you liked the video, please leave a like. This really helps the channel grow and brings you even more content. Oh, and if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Click the subscribe button and activate the bell to receive all notifications. With each game, we notice that the NBA is getting more competitive every day, and all the teams are looking for reinforcements to win the championship. And only here can you follow your favorite team daily with incredible content from different sources. Here on the channel, there are new videos every day with analysis, curiosities, and the best moments in basketball. That's it for today, folks. Thanks for following along. The NBA doesn't stop, and neither do we. Until the next video. NBA, the passion that connects us.